Welcome everyone to a Tuesday Newsday with me and Sinzar. Hey Sinzar.
I am so hyped. Let's do it.
Are you really though?
I am hyped for my 13,000 lapis from this event. Yes, I am.
Okay, really. All right. And like, how about the units?
The units are actually pretty good this week. Well, two of them are. One
Really?
of them not so much.
Oh. Well, that's I want to say that's a bit rare coming from you because you're usually like, if like it's shit if it's not outputting the same damage as knights or similar. So that
Well,
sounds promising.
well, there you go, because Dragon Knight Baron outdamages the global buff Knight to Grand Shell by about 20%.
Wow, what? That sound okay. So let's jump into it. It's part 2 of the Dragon Quest banner, and it seems like the main prize then is Dragon Knight Baron. So is he like Dai's dad? Like, do we know the lore?
As far as the lore, I have absolutely no idea.
I wonder if somebody in chat knows. I'm asking because the vision card is called, Father and Son Dragons Set Out, and like on the vision card you have Baron and Dai. So like,
I guess so then.
Should be, right? Like I'm just guessing. Seems like nobody has watched the anime or read the manga in chat at least. So okay. Okay, but he looks pretty cool. Like a badass dragon knight that actually has shifts into a dragon-ish. Dragonoid, humanoid thing. But he's a mage.
Yes, he's a mage in the shift form, and he's a fixed hybrid in the base form.
What? Wait. Yeah. Fixed hybrid. That sounds really annoying.
Yes, but his modifier is 2,400 XLB. So when you crank up the mods 10 times higher than our standard, it kind of fixes those hybrid problems.
Whoa, okay. So wow, that's a bit bizarre. So is that his highest damaging form then? It's actually his base form where he's fixed?
It depends. So it's a fixed attack, meaning no killers, just like evokers.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Killers, yeah. Also, that means no amplify fields. So if you're using a killer buff and no field at 425% killer, so a 125 buff or better, the shift form will pull ahead. If you're using an amplify field like Terra's field or Ferris's lightning field, the shift form pulls ahead. If you don't have high killer buff or a field, the base form is better. So it kind of depends on the fight.
But that's super interesting though. So you're telling me this is a DPS unit that can excel even though you can't fit big dick killers in your party?
Yes. So the base form can do very, very high damage, even with no killer gear whatsoever.
Wow.
Also, and this is the bigger deal. Dark
the bigger D.
Dark Visions in the future, quite a few of them start using this really annoying and obnoxious gimmick where bosses will start off with preemptive permanent general mitigation. And the only way to get around this is it forces you to use evokers or fixed damage dealers like Carl or Dragon Knight Baran. Now, there are ways to get around it. The most common way is to re-raise the boss and then kill him a second time, because they only get that mitigation on turn 1.
Wait, but is this like a permanent mitigation? How do you get rid of it? You just don't.
You kill the boss, and the boss won't reapply it after they re-raise.
Okay, so that's like the only... So why did they add this? Is it to just premier units like this? Or?
Well, no, because Baran fixed attacks ignore mitigation.
Right.
Ignore mitigation. Yes. So it was basically a way to like, oh, hey, here's a fixed unit, and everyone's like, we don't really care. And then they're like, well, here's the boss that only gets hurt by fixed units. Oh, well, now we care. But players found ways around it.
But what you can do, I guess, like as you said, is just wear the boss down to 0 through mitigation, make sure it's re-raised, and then you can burst it properly without mitigation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. So I want to say like the sprite is pretty badass. You know who he reminds me of a bit? He reminds me a bit of oh crap, I just lost the name. The Führer from
King Bradley.
King Bradley, thank you. Yes, King Bradley. You knew. I did not even have to say it was Full Metal Alchemist. You just knew. Okay. Yeah, he does remind me a bit of King Bradley, does he? Like, is it just me?
He very much does. I would say that they just basically reused the art asset and gave him a mask,
Okay, yeah.
but, but, but I assume he looks this way in the anime as well, so that's probably not the case.
Probably does. Like, this is kind of the powerful father figure anime trope, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But his shift looks insane too, where he's shifting into this dragon type thing. Looks also pretty cool. Okay, so if he is fixed attack in base, which I mean, I just want to keep simping over this because this sounds amazing to me. Like, okay, we're talking about like a unit where if you didn't fit the strong killer buffs, amps, and so on, still is gonna perform really well. That sounds like the lazy man's unit, and I am lazy. That's
It
so
is
cool.
pretty good. Now, keep in mind, it is a hybrid attack, meaning you have to break both defense and spirit. It also means that if the boss has an unequal distribution, it's just not going to be good.
Right.
So, like, if you're using him on like a physical stage or a magical stage, you're going to want to go with the proper type. So, like, it's his shift form for mage stages, or just don't use him on a physical stage. But for
Okay.
like the final boss that has an equal, defense and spirit, then yeah, it's really good.
Wow. I mean, this unit sounds very fun to have, though. Like, very fun. And besides, this unit also seems to be sharing the totally fucking OP broken vision card now that him and Dai share, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's totally fucking broken. I don't know if we mentioned this, but it is because it got like buffed, or it was in I think it was in Korea. It was advertised as if the passive stats were not limited to Dragon Quest units only, and instead of nerfing it, instead of making it as it's supposed to be, they instead remove that limitation from the card. So it's actually an insane card.
Yes, and the difference with this card versus Knights of Grandchild card is you only need to, worst case scenario, spend I think 32K to get the card. Whereas Knights of Grandchild, you got to pull 8 copies of a premium unit. So have fun with that.
Yeah, I honestly don't get why they unnerfed this, honestly, because I think this undermines the value of the Knights of Grandchild card, which I know that a lot of people pulled hard for. So a bit weird of a decision, but hey, it's there, and like if you either pull Dai or Baran, like holy shit, you have a fantastic card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really
But
good
tell me
card.
more about his shift form, though. So, like, his shift form is a trans shift, and it seems to be 4 turns and 3 turn cooldown. So, what does he do in this shift form? Is it just like standard
Uh,
LB burst, or?
yeah. The shift form is the typical burst. It's a 350x LB, and he has the typical burst. It's a 350 built-in 300% store, kind of like Dark Rain. Don't forget that variance is a thing very, very soon. Not quite yet. So on Thursday, we're not getting variance yet. So Thursday, he's actually going to be relatively weak on Thursday
Okay,
because variance is not live. But that's
he's
going to be
gonna
a
get
very,
the
very
50% damage soon, right?
yes, exactly. And then also with all the Dragon Quest gear and whaling him out, he's got something like 9,500 magic or something. So he has excessively high magic while also being innately double hand for variance. So it's a huge, huge power jump. These units came like 2 months later in JP when like the power level is like more like Balthier Titus type
Okay.
level. Because they're so early on global, it's just a huge jump because of that.
Wow. I mean, what did you say? You said like 20% more than Knights of Grandchild, right?
Approximately, yeah. Because
Wow.
Knights of Grandchild have the same mod, but the difference is Knights of Grandchild don't have a focus buff to boost their attack power really higher. Also, Knights of Grandchild don't have, like I said, about 9,500 unbuffed attack power like this guy
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
So,
Holy shit. I mean, that's fantastic. Okay,
mhm.
so a very very good unit. Is he element locked?
Yes, he is hard locked to lightning that cannot be imbued in either form. Imbues do not work on fixed either. So
Ah,
he is
right. So that's a
one
big
hundred percent.
drawback, right? Like, I
It
mean,
is.
you're not gonna be dual elementing with this guy anytime soon. You're just gonna be using him for where lightning is viable. Which, given like end stages in GL, end stages in DV are always. So that shouldn't be a big problem.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, wow, but a very cool unit. Very cool unit has a great STMR too. Well, for him mostly, but it's another sword. We're getting a lot of good swords now. All of a sudden, two-handed sword, with high attack and high magic. So it seems to be very good.
Yes. Now that is one thing I should point out, and that was a big thing that balanced him out in JP. Is he has no weapon in peril, and in JP they don't have Elena, Frievia, etc. No Kaito, so there was basically no sword in peril at all on JP when this guy came out. I mean, they had Noctis, but Noctis was trash at that point. So
Yeah, sure. Okay, so he's gonna be even stronger here, given that like it's much easier for us to supply a sword in peril, right?
yes, exactly.
Wow. Okay, very nice. But correct me if I'm wrong, but he will still benefit from fields that decrease in peril, right?
Yes, those
Or
will work
increase
on
in peril. Sorry. Yeah.
those will work on both forms, and then the amplify fields like Terra, those will work on his shift form because it's just plain
Oh,
old magic.
okay, that's good. Yeah, exactly. It's just the fixed attacks that suffer. So I mean, his shift form should work with any amp and any field, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah. Okay, nice. All right. Well, okay, enough simping about this unit. I mean, it seems to be amazing. I think a lot of people will be pulling for it now that they heard these raw stats. Although, like, I do recognize that a lot of people are also excited about Balthier and Titus. So maybe some people are saving, but this sounds like a fantastic unit. With this card, it's hard to not go all in, honestly.
Yeah. Just keep in mind that the global anniversary is looming very imminent.
Yeah, and we might get good units, or we might get shit units. Who knows? Who knows? But they probably will be good. Okay, so next unit is Immortal Hyunkel. Hyunkel. I don't know. Scissor, how would you pronounce this?
Hyunkel, I guess.
Hyunkel. Okay, sure. Okay, so he is a SLB physical DPS and magic tank, right?
Yes, exactly.
Is he one of the two that were good on this banner?
Yeah, he's actually pretty good.
Oh,
He's a magical tank, and he's a fine magical tank. Like if you need a magical tank and nothing else, you're not really going to pick him over the other options we have on global. That being said, his physical form is not an afterthought. You know, usually when you get tanks that are also DPS, it's like they're not really a DPS. Well, this guy is a full fledged DPS. He's
oh,
got a he's got something like 9,000 unbuffed attack power, and his LB is physical type, so that's a good thing. And he also he's got a really weird mechanic in JP. If he's under 10% health when you use his SLB, it's upgraded and it does 350x modifier. So he has the same modifier as
wow.
like all the premiums. Yeah,
Oh
and
shit.
he has 9,000 attack power, which is
That sounds
higher than
incredibly respectable, honestly.
it is. It's higher than Sephiroth, higher than Arn, higher than Typhus, etc.
Wow.
Also,
Okay.
if you notice the fine print, he's also getting a global upgrade to be even better on global.
And what is the upgrade? Do we know? Because it just like says it on his super limit burst.
Yeah, it says his SLB is being upgraded. We don't know the details of that. That being said, what my speculation is, I do not know this. I would speculate global instead of boosting the modifier because his modifiers are honestly perfectly fine. He doesn't need a mod boost. I think they're going to get rid of that whole goofy. You've got to be under 10% health thing to do his damage.
Ah, okay.
That is just a annoyance and a frustration to use him. That is not fun.
Yeah, I mean the only
So
way to not fuck yourself over with like taking damage would be like Graviga or some shit, right? Or would that even
yeah,
maybe that even doesn't work? I don't know.
you can use like Graviga multiple times to get him under 10%, or you could attack him because he does have multi stack of. He's like 5 stacks of guts because he is the immortal Hyuncle. He can't
Okay.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could trigger his guts, and then he'd be at one HP, which would qualify for the upgrade. But yeah, hopefully Global just gets rid of that because like it's interesting and I guess true to the lore, but sometimes true to the lore is just not fun in a game.
Yeah, exactly. Like an idea was cool, but then it was kind of like all the LB upgrades that the original Final Fantasy 6 units when they came out, the 7 stars, remember those?
Exactly.
They
Yep.
all
Yep.
had this super annoying mechanic as well, where again, true to the game. That's what happened in the game, but didn't translate very well. All right, wow. Okay, now you're getting me excited for this unit. This is a strong magic. This is a magic tank that actually can dish out some damage. I am lacking tanks that can do damage because I don't have Esther, and Chow. So I could use a tank like this, honestly. And given the prevalence of magic tanks in Clash of Wills, holy shit! Like, I'm a bit excited. He has an amazing sprite too. Like, has that. Oh, and his STMR is fucking amazing for Roberta. So.
Roberta can't use it.
What? Why? It's a spear.
Magic tanks only.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, this sucks. Magic tank units only, a magic and attacks, or a spirit and attack. Oh, sorry, but no, it doesn't even have magic on it, so I don't even know why I was simping for it. Like, I saw attack and magic, but it's attack and spirit. So it'd be terrible for Roberta. Never mind, if she even could equip it. Okay, but it's good for him then. This is a very specific weapon.
Yeah, now one thing to keep in mind, like I said, his DPS scales off attack power, meaning, now if you're using him as a magic tank, depending on the content, if it's a fight that like really needs to be seriously tanked, he's not going to be able to fit a full DPS build while actually tanking. So that is something to keep
because
in mind.
you're gearing for bulk then and are losing out on. But I mean, like, how much? Like, obviously, he wouldn't be performing then as a top tier DPS, which he seems to be if you don't gear for bulk. But will he at least be able to contribute?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah. But for his big damage, you're going to want to go with Knight's Grand Shell card, all attack power, all your material with killers, stuff like that, which leaves like no bulk.
He seems to be light locked as well, right?
He is. Yes, he is.
But normal physical, so you can still go dual element if you would need to, for instance. So that's fine.
Correct.
Okay. And then we have the third unit out. I guess so. This is now the shit unit since we did the two good ones. Superior being Hadlar seems to be a SLB mage.
Yeah. He's not like garbage or anything. He's just, when you compare it to the other two, he's just quite a bit behind. He does like approximately the DPS of like Medina with variants. Yeah.
Okay, that says nothing though to me. But
it's not great. It's not great. It's he's behind.
Okay, so like I recently learned the Renoa does about half damage. So wailed out Renoa does half damage of a wailed out Dark Rain, which was really disheartening. But also, like, so how would he compare? Like, would he also clock in at like half damage of Dark Rain? Would he actually be stronger?
Compared to Dark Rain, something like 75%.
Okay, but that's still pretty okay.
It's like I said, it's okay. It's just like, when you're coming off the train with Hyunko and Baron, then you get the like, oh, I pulled Hadlar of my Neo today.
Right. No, I get it. Yeah, a bit disappointing in comparison, but in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, if your only strong mage is Dark Rain, this is going to be a good contribution to your team, right? Like, that's
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And one thing to keep in mind also is he has the racial bonus versus humans. So if you're fighting a human, his LB would do a lot more damage. Not killer. It's kind of like Kaito versus machines. Kaito's going to burst way harder.
He has a mod exclusive to that race, right?
To humans, yeah. No, versus humans, he's fine.
Okay.
But versus everything else, a little bit, not really.
Yeah, his STMR is not amazing either. Like, it's a fist with magic on it and attack. So I guess like would be good for magic fist users. Do we have any?
The only one I could think of is Cacteria, because double hand variance is now a thing, and you got to use two-handers. So
hey, how would Cacteria fare? Like, I'm guessing shit, but like, how would she fare with an actual two-handed fist in Cow with morale mods?
I actually calced her, and in Clash of Wills, she would do like slightly less than Frievia is doing today with her physical form.
Okay, so not super amazing. Okay, yeah.
It's not great, but it's worth considering.
I mean, yeah, you might bring her as your breaker, if you needed to, kind of. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's still a reasonable upgrade, but I guess like the big dick takeaways as this variance comes in are going to be Olivera and Roberta, where Roberta is absolutely going to crush Cow meta as soon as she gets a two-handed weapon on her. And Olivera too, actually. Olivera is probably also going to be in the top, so yeah.
Actually went through and updated my spreadsheet for the variants. I did it a few weeks early just because I was bored.
Nice.
Who surprised me as being like out of nowhere, all of a sudden has a ton of damage in Clash of Wills is Yigni. Because I forgot,
Oh,
Yigni has 4,790 modifier, and the problem was Yigni just didn't have no variants, so it was like just worse than Laura, like a lot worse. But Laura Croft has 3,500 modifier. Yigni with a double hand build has 4,790 modifier, which is like 50% higher than Laura, and now he gets variants too. So it's like
oh.
Yigni
What a nice
has.
surprise. I love Yigni, but my one of my issues with Yigni is that he is a nightmare to gear because his stats are so low.
Yes,
Um,
you definitely have to whale him out. Like he definitely needs like Dark Rain card and high end gear to do this.
right, right. But still cool. That was a nice finding that he's actually going to step up a bit too. I like this. I like that we're getting mages a bit more relevant now. I've always liked mages more than physical units in FFBE, so I'm happy that they are kind of getting to be powerful now. I'm just sad for my Renoa, although Renoa is gonna get a small bump, but she's still gonna be like under half of fucking Dark Rain's damage, which was a lot worse than I thought she would be. Like when you and me were first talking, I was like, okay, but she's might clock in like just slightly below Dark Rain. No, 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 no. She's like half of his damage. Oh my gosh, that's so low.
Yeah, looking at the upgraded, if you go with a double hand build on a Renoa,
Yeah.
just for comparison, Dark Rain's approximately 14 billion. Renoa's about 10 and a half. So it's
Yeah, so
close.
she comes a bit closer, but still is a fair bit of. I mean, I'm not complaining. First of all, I love FF8. I love Renoa, so I'm definitely gonna keep using her. I'm just happy she's gonna get stronger, but I was
Mhm.
disillusioned maybe. Um, cool, but so I mean, none of these units are actually bad. All of them are good, and for a player that doesn't have Dark Rain like me, even Hadlar would be a good pickup. Like I would not cry if I picked up
Mhm.
Hadlar. Um,
Mhm.
cool. So
And it's kind of similar to the Xenogears situation where all the people chasing Graph kind of wanted to pull one copy of id for his TMR.
right.
Same situation here. Hadlar's TMR is 500 flat magic for Dragon Quest units, which obviously Baron loves.
Ah, okay, okay. And does it even stack? So you would need want two or no? It doesn't stack. Okay.
It does not stack now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you would still want one, and this is not a raid event, right? Their event is a Vision World, so we might not be getting Trust Moogles. So those that might have any of those containers left, the Prism Moogles left, they can't use them, right?
Uh, there might have been Trust Moogles in the Vision World shop. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Okay.
Might
It
have been.
doesn't say so in like the news picture, but it could still very well be so. So yeah, I've now spent all of mine. Unfortunately, I have none left, and it doesn't seem like we're getting any new ones anytime soon. So
Seems
that's how it is.
seems that way.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about the Vision World then, right? So instead
Okay.
of DV, we're getting Vision World,
Yep.
and so I'm just gonna go out here and assume that of course the end boss is gonna be super tailored to Dragon Quest Dai units, right?
Of course, it is weak to only Thunder, and it is a demon, which they both have lots of killers for, and they're
Oh
both Thunder
shit!
locked.
And
Yes.
only Thunder. So like, fuck all other elements, or like how
Well,
penalized are you?
it's negative 100 Thunder base resist and 0 to the rest. So on JP, I capped it with Knight to Grandchild, who was a holy element. So yeah, this Vision World is very easy to cap. So
Oh,
it's not a
okay. It's one
problem.
of those where a lot of people will get rank one anyway, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, basically the same thing as the Xenogears. It's kind of like a free win if you're, an active player that has decent gear. New players will struggle. Veterans that actually put in effort will very easily cap this.
So who will we be like? So if you don't have Knights of Grandchildren, you're going in with a Lightning team. Who are our best supports? Like, is that still old Sakura?
Esther, the Sakura, the
Oh,
Sage of Thunder
Roberta.
Sakura.
Roberta has 45% amp to Lightning, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh
Or you can
shit.
just go. You can just go off element. Like I said, the damage cap is only 10 billion, and the boss is pretty squishy.
Okay.
JP doesn't even have 90% breaks. Global does. So it's going to be no problem.
Right, so people could, like, I might be able to, like, you were giving me a hard time before the episode, telling me I'm gonna bring my favorite units and not cap, and I'm gonna cry.
It was a joke. I was joking.
But it's probably gonna be true. Although, you know, because like I'm looking at it now and I'm like, okay, who do I want to bring? Well, I'm like, obviously I want to bring either Fraevia or Kaido. Probably Fraevia, right? And then, you know, like some Graf, some Roberta, maybe 90% breaks, obviously Lara and shit. And that's probably not going to be enough. So I'm going to be crying in a corner and then going back to like, because this is one of those where I can't turn my back on it and say like, no, I'm not doing this, because it's 10k Lapis. So I obviously do want a cap. So, you know, I might sink so low to do a riser clear, I guess. Maybe. Let's see.
You're not gonna need to, I promise.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I look forward to it. Like I always like Vision Worlds. I've said this many times because I think they're like lore-wise just more fun and cooler. I get to discover things about a universe I didn't before, and or revisit an old one. But also that I get to do this. I get to try, knowing that it's easily capable. I get to just try go in with my team, which is what I did for Xenogears, for instance, and that was a lot of fun of just capping on my own accord, you know. So I hope to be able to do the same.
This one, I guess maybe it's true to the show. You know, people that have watched the anime can tell us, but I wasn't impressed with the visuals because if you look at the very top of the Vision World news,
right,
you see all the bosses. They're just like these gray statues, and they're pretty generic looking. Like all the bosses are just these. They're all the same color. They're all monotone. They're all just like a gray generic looking statue.
But that has to be like a lore reason for it, right? Like they're fighting statues in this anime. I think that's the reason.
I would assume so. And then the final boss is the actual the guy, the top left guy.
Okay.
So he was cool looking.
So he was an actual boss. Okay, pretty cool. Interesting. So we're also getting a EX battle, right? Versus Lon Baruch.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Baruch? What is the Dai's father's name?
Hadlar, I think.
No, Baron.
No, Baron.
Okay, so it's not the same person. Okay, it's like too many names on B. Like this is just like playing Elden Ring, where every fucking name starts with an M or like I don't know S or whatever, or R actually, M or R. It's so annoying. But it's one of those nice EX battles, right? We're getting 3k Lapis, a mystery crystal and stuff. Do you remember this? Like, was it difficult? How was it?
The only thing I remember is I tried to OTK it and I didn't, and I had to go to like turn 2 or 3. But the boss doesn't do anything, so it's like whatever.
Oh, okay. So it's very, very easy then.
Yes, it is very easy.
Okay, and it's not locked to a certain series, so you can bring whoever the fuck you want. And even I see that Kaito is actually getting 300% parameter boost, so you know, like you can just shit on it with Kaito, I guess.
Yeah, it's a demon, weak to light. It has lower defense than Spirit, so you want to go physical if you can. But it's you take whatever you want, basically.
Yeah. Nice. All right, cool. Okay, yeah, and that's it. And we did get a new vision card. We did not mention that. It's the immortal uncle and the other guy. They seem to be like 100 to all stats vision card with 300 flat stats to all Dragon Quest units. So very similar to the ones Mam and Pop share, right?
Yeah, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a must-have if you pull one of those units and want to use them because they want the flat stats. Oh, of course, unless you pulled Dai's card, obviously, or his dad's card, Baron's card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still hoping a daily is gonna shitter me either Dai or Baron, so I get this absolutely broken card.
Me too. So far, my dailies have given me nothing.
Yeah, I'm shittering like crazy on this banner, or I've just been doing dailies and I've already gotten Mam and Pop. So like the good SDMRs are mine. I'm happy about that.
Oh no, I was talking about the literal free daily pull.
Okay, I've been doing the free and the normal daily, so I've been doing twice as many pulls as you then, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but still lucky. I want to say still lucky, right? Like 2 NVs on banner from what 14 pulls or something by now. No, less.
For sure.
Okay, well I guess that's it for this episode, right?
Pretty much. The one thing I do want to just mention briefly is once again they are opening the entire Vision World on day 1, and I just wanted to give a big thumbs up. I love that they are doing that again, and I hope that
Very nice.
yes, I hope that stays that way forever.
For sure, I loved it. I mean, that's fantastic. Didn't they do the same with the Dark Visions, last Dark Visions, right?
They did. The news said it. The news said it was going to be staggered, but it all opened on day one. So it seemed like a little bit of an oopsie that they did it all on day one. But apparently, it was so well received. They're just doing it on purpose now, because now the news is announcing that we're all opening on day one. And I'm glad. I really want to reinforce that, Gumi, that players are happy about this. Keep
for sure, for sure. I love it. I love it. Thank you. That's great. Okay. Well then, I guess that's it for this week, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Thanks for chilling, Sinzar, and thanks to everyone for listening.
All right. See you next time.
See ya. Bye.